let's move on to Baby Emmanuel. This is another fascinating case we haven't really touched on Courtroom Insider. I've been posting the updates on my Facebook page. I wish I had news to say that the baby had been found. He has not. Let me go back to August 14th. This is when a baby in California was reported missing by his mother, Baby Emmanuel. Rebecca Haro, 41, says that her baby was kidnapped after she was attacked in the parking lot of a Big Five sporting goods. There are no cameras that caught anything in that parking lot or outside. Excuse me. According to the mother, she and the baby were there in the area for another son's youth soccer competition. Before the alleged attack, she said she was assaulted from behind while changing her son's diaper. Quote, I noticed a smell from my baby, so I wanted to change him before going into the store. I took him out of the car seat and I laid him on the chair. I had his diapers right there and someone said, hola. I turned around and I don't remember nothing. I got up from the floor and didn't see my child. Someone took him from me. 2 days later, that was August 14th. Let me see what day of the week that was. That was on a Thursday. On Saturday, the 16th, police say, San Bernardino Sheriff's Department says they can't rule out foul play in the infant's disappearance. The sheriff's deputies said Rebecca presented inconsistencies in her initial statement and declined to continue with the interview. She, along with Emmanuel's father, 32-year-old Jake Haro, were interviewed by law enforcement as part of the investigation. The next day, on that Sunday, August 17th, a toddler in the home is taken into protective custody, a 2-year-old sibling, by Riverside County Child Protective Services. As the case continued, we learned more and more about Jake, the dad's criminal history. In 2021, he was convicted of cruelty to a child, and in 2024, just last year, he was convicted of being a felon in possession of a handgun. Guy does not have the clearest record. An arrest warrant for Jake was filed in the child cruelty case involving a baby girl. Authorities responded to his home after the girl was admitted to the hospital with multiple broken bones. According to court documents, he told investigators that he accidentally dropped the child on a sink as he was bathing her. Doctors reported rib and skull fractures and a brain hemorrhage, according to the court documents. As investigators spoke with the father in connection to the baby's case, community members gathered in the parking lot of the Big Five sporting goods store where the baby was reportedly kidnapped and held a vigil for him with candles in hand. There's more on that child cruelty case. You can go research it, but the original one that I don't know how he could have ever had access to children after that horrible case. So fast forward to August 20th. The infant's father, Jake's vehicle, is seized by detectives. They don't say why they took the vehicle. Additionally, they receive reports from people who say the baby was spotted in Kern County. The police said, we know the community is deeply concerned about the case. We will continue to provide information to the extent it does not jeopardize the investigation. Our investigators have followed up on the reported sightings of 7-month-old Emmanuel Haro, but he has not yet been located. So those reports were not accurate. While Emmanuel's father has retained an attorney, if the parents choose to work with detectives, we welcome their cooperation. 2 days later, August 22nd, the parents are arrested on suspicion of murder at their home. I posted the video that the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department released. Here is some of it. They showed up. You can see it's a very rural area. They showed up. They took them into custody and took them to jail. And in a statement, the Sheriff's Department said, during the investigation thus far, numerous interviews have been conducted, search warrants have been served, digital and electronic evidence have been collected and closely analyzed. Based on the evidence, investigators determined a kidnapping did not occur. It is believed Emmanuel is deceased, and search to recover his remains are ongoing. So the next day, or 2 days later, Jake joins investigators searching for the child near the 60 freeway. And this is where a lot of you and a lot of others are saying, oh, he told the cops where his child was. We don't know the specifics about that. Other than investigators carried out a search for the remains of the infant, they did say they believed he was dead at this point. They combed the westbound shoulder of the 60 freeway in Moreno Valley near Gilman Springs Road. Cadaver dogs were brought in. Jake was seen in an orange jumpsuit working with the investigators. The day after that, August 26th, the parents are charged with murder and making a false report to law enforcement. The parents were supposed to be arraigned that same day, but it was moved off to September 4th, so that'll be here coming up on Thursday. And then on the 27th, so just a few days ago, Baby Emmanuel was described as a victim of child abuse over time who eventually succumbed to those injuries. That was announced by the Riverside County District Attorney Mike Hestron. Hestron was joined by Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco and San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes in a press conference to update on the case. The sheriff doubled down on his beliefs that the parents fabricated the kidnapping report. He said, forensically, there are a number of things we are able to prove. There is a tremendous amount of evidence that suggests the initial story posed was not correct. He said law enforcement has a pretty strong indication of where the remains of the baby are.